Howdy neighbor, how is your garden growing? Today in my garden, well, we're going shopping. See, I've been working on taking my garden from totally chaotic to a charming, dreamy cottage garden right here in the state of Florida. I've recently built some huge wildflower beds, like really big, 8-foot by 10-foot beds. And today we're gonna be working on one of those. But here's the thing, I have a plan, but I kind of don't. I've been using my planner to going through the list of the 60 to 70 different native species that I've grown in my garden before to help me build that plan. And I have kind of a rough sketch of what I'm gonna do in the first bed, but I don't have all of it figured out. So come join me today while we go and explore gorgeous Florida native plants that can be added to a wildflower garden, a cottage garden, but also that tend to like it a little bit more wet. So here's the thing, the space that we're gonna be designing or working on today, I have grown Florida native plants in before. It's just, all that's really changed is it's a little bit higher and it's got a really clear border. And in that space, I have grown some plants that have tended to like it a little bit wetter. So I know plants that like it a little bit wetter can totally handle it. Now, what's a little bit different with my space versus might be different in your spaces, sprinklers run twice a week in this area for not just this wildflower bed, but all the areas, which is probably why in a standard kind of suburban urban garden, it can act like a moisture area. Plus, I have really, really rich organic soil. I have taken my sandy soil from, you know, the typical stuff in Florida, and I've converted it to really, really rich soil full of organic matter that holds moisture pretty well. That brings me to, what am I planting? What are we doing in this space? I don't know. Okay, so here's what I've got so far. And if this looks like a bunch of crazy scribbles, that's because it is. But one of the first things I'm thinking for this giant space is by anchoring kind of the back middle with a statement kind of like plant. I don't know what to say. It's big, it's tall, it's got big flowers, and it's gonna like some moisture. I had it on the other side of the garden, but with all the work, I had to move it. And the one that I had, I'm pretty sure I killed it. So I think we're gonna start over again, and we're gonna go with a scarlet hibiscus. So scarlet hibiscus, not, you know, it's got more of a tropical vibe, but I feel like with some of these other moist loving plants, we can kind of tone that down a little bit. But let me show you the plant. It's right over here. This scarlet hibiscus. None of them are flowered right now, but I will tell you, huge, big scarlet red flower. And it's big. Maybe on the camera, I'm putting a lovely picture right now. But it's a really cool looking plant. It kind of dies back in the winter time. It goes dormant, even in my area, and I live in zone 10B. So just to give you an idea, but this thing is big. You can see these ones are already what, let's see, 3 foot, 3.5, maybe almost 4 feet tall. Nah, that's probably 3.5. It will get 5 feet tall, and then it's gonna to the ground, and then so, but what I really like about it is when it is growing is you do get like this really nice like magenta purpley color in there in addition to the green leaves. So it has some visual interest until it has flowers. That's what I'm thinking of anchoring the space, that kind of that back middle. And then around it, I need to put other plants. Now in the huge, getting the wall in, I saved, I think 5 or 6 Euryngum aquaticum, also, Euryngum aquaticum, variety Ravenelli, AKA swamp rattlesnake master, or blue Euryngum. It goes by a bunch of different common names, but it's Euryngum aquaticum variety Ravenelli. That's what it is. In the fall time, it will get really pretty blue, kind of cone, is that the word? I don't know. This look, it gets those. I've grown them, they divide, they're amazing, but they like it a little bit wetter. They're kind of always near my sprinkler head, so it gets like the most amount of water, and they're downhill so that during the summer when we get all the rains, it kind of washes that way. So we have 6 of those, so that's already in the design. And then I also saved some swamp milkweeds as I tore everything out. So I think I have 3 or 4. I'm gonna pick up more. I think they're out of it because they just had a huge sale here at Sweet Bay. But I have some other plants I need to pick up for another project from another native nursery, and they say they have a bunch. So we're cool there. So let's grab our first plants. This is white top starbrush. We have wild white tops in our area. They don't get this tall, but this would be a really cool one because like, look at that, just like little pops of white. And I could see putting this near the Euryngum because it would just kind of create some visual interest because this will bloom earlier in the year and then that will fill in towards later in the year. So maybe some white top. I'm thinking that one. Another one that I'm thinking of adding, even though I'm gonna have swamp milkweed, is another type of milkweed, but because it tends to like it a little bit shadier and a little bit wetter, is aquatic milkweed. So this is Asclepias incarnata. It's a lot lower growing, so I feel like this would be a really good one for kind of near the front. This one I've had in some really, really shady locations, and I'm also looking for plants that like it, maybe not full blast sun, because part of the area is gonna get a little bit more shade from my neighbor, Mr. Cliff's oak. So I wanted to take that into account, that plants that kind of, they like it sunny, but they're gonna prefer a little bit of shade-ish. That makes sense. Oh look, monarch, hi. Enjoying. It looks like it's a lady. Yep, it's a lady butterfly, and she's probably putting eggs on it. Free caterpillars, who doesn't love that? Buy a plant, get a butterfly. I thought they said they didn't have any swamp milkweed. Untrue, they have some right here. So I can go and buy some more for this one section, because I think, what did I say I have? I think I have 2, 3, or 4 swamp milkweeds, and I want to have 9 for the area. So if I buy 6, because that's kind of the trick with swamp milkweed, is you always want a lot, especially now that the butterflies are here, because they will lay their caterpillars. Well, they lay the eggs, they become caterpillars, and they eat those things down so fast. So fast. And then all of a sudden, you have no milkweed, it's all died, and you're sad. Or you have no milkweed, you're sad, and you have giant caterpillars who are really hungry, and now you're sad because the caterpillars might die too. That's what I'm just saying, like, get at least 6. Always get at least 6. That's my tip. I'm walking and I'm looking and I'm like, I know I saw brown savory earlier, and here it is. This is a great little flower. I had a bunch of this, and then with all the other plants taking over, I lost it. But look at it, it is so pretty. And it has this minty smell, and it has these flowers, which are like one of the few flowers that grow through the winter in my area. And since we stay warmer, we will have bees pretty active, other than a couple weeks of the, you know, maybe like a month at most of the year. So having native pollen sources is really important. And this one's great. It'll take a little bit of foot traffic, but not a lot. Not a lot. Oh yeah. And it's good for hanging baskets. If you want to do like container plants, thumbs up for this one. But I was thinking, you know, kind of near the edge of the wall, like if it drapes over the wall a little bit, might be really cute. If it does. I don't know if I'm gonna like that in the long run, but like having it near the wall, I feel like that could be like a really cute looking plant. What I like at a lot of the native nurseries that I go to is like Sweet Bay here, is that they organize their plants not necessarily by flower or shrub, but by like needs. So like this is like, if you need a plant that works in shady areas, 'tis the shady area. And then like across way over there is like where all the plants that like extra moisture do. There are some that like moisture in here, but they're like, these tend to be like it's shady. That sounds like it's almost scandalous. Like, these are shady plants. They're talking behind all the other plants' backs. Not good friends. I don't know. They're throwing shade. Oh my gosh, they have lizard tails. Oh, I do love a lizard tail. Have you ever seen lizard tails? I've seen lizard tails out in like fields. To my one job, I used to drive past a field that had tons of lizard tails. They were so pretty. This is skyflower. It kind of only gets like a foot. This is saying 3 feet. Mine did not. I don't remember ever getting 3 feet, but mine stayed kind of like a foot, a solid, like, you know, like foot from the ground. And then it gets these really pretty like clusters of blue flowers. They're not that color because obviously the sign's faded, but they get that. And so you get lots of like little flowers. I liked when I had the combo of this plus blue sage plus the flamingo pink tropical sage together. It was a really, plus the verbena, beach verbena or Tampa verbena. Those together all were like a really cool combo. But this, like, I think a little bit, yeah, full sun, moist wet. So see, I was thinking putting this on the far end of the bed that gets more sunlight. Because like basically like the right side is the eastern side, and that eastern side gets way more shade throughout the day because of Cliff's oak, because his oak almost reaches all the way across my driveway pretty much. So that side gets like the most amount of shade, and then the western side gets more sun. So what we're gonna end up doing in Project 8 will get way more sun than Project 7, which is why I'm thinking more drier plants on that side, and then more moist loving plants on this side. Though I have swamp milkweed that grew over there and has come back because, you know, the sprinklers are sprinkling and I have good soil. So it's not like the end of the world, but I'm thinking maybe skyflower, like a clump of skyflowers. What do you think? So between skyflower and the eryngiums, it's a lot of blue, but then again, the eryngiums don't bloom until fall, and that doesn't really, I don't think it really blooms in fall. I don't remember it blooming in fall ever. So it potentially maybe could in an area, but not, it's not its big bloom season. That's more springtime. So thinking. Yeah. So that's a maybe. That's a maybe right there. Thinking about Joe Pye weed, I want a second chance at it, and I feel like the other side, like how I'm putting the tropical sage on the one side, I'm thinking the Joe Pye weed for the other side, but that's not the project for today. That's a project for another day. We're gonna come back to that. Also because I don't have enough space in my car, because I'm thinking, because this space is 8 foot by 10 feet, which is 80 square feet, is that many of these plants take up about 2 by 2, so 4 square feet. So if we take 80 divided by 4, that's 20 plants. And 30 something is about the limit my car can hold. So if I have to do 2 rounds of that, 40 plants, like that's gonna be questionable if I can fit them all in my car. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so here's what I've grabbed so far. I've gotten a tropical hibiscus. There's one in there. Just believe me, go with it. Okay, there are 3 of those white tops, 6 swamp milkweeds, and grabbed 3 sweet scents. So this plant's new to me. Never grown it before. Actually, never heard of it before, but she was saying she saw it in ditches. And you know what? There's this new purplish plant that looks just like this that I've been seeing growing in ditches this year. I have never seen it grow in these ditches before. So I'm suspicious it might be the same, but don't know. But also then don't know, like, is it gonna only last right spring and then it's like gonna out later on? Not sure. Willing to test it. Follow along for the journey. Okay, so another plant that Leo was recommending was this one, which is winged loosestrife, which gets a couple feet, like 2-3 feet tall, purple pink flowers, and it blooms in the summer. Because that's one of the things with the gardens, like I do want blooms regularly. So this could be a cool one to try. Maybe. I'm a little worried trying too many new flowers because I've done them before and that doesn't always go so well. So I think I'm gonna have to make the base a bit more stuff I know. So like I know swamp milkweed, I know aquatic milkweed, I know the orangiums, like I know how they work in my yard. I know how tropical hibiscus works in my yard. So I don't want to go too crazy. So we'll try a few things. I keep telling myself, like, you come back and add more later, like once it starts to fill in, if you think like, but I don't want giant gaps because I'm super worried about like Biden's Albert coming back. And okay, I just couldn't. I grabbed 3 purple cone flowers. I don't really know where they're going in the design, but I feel like once I get in the space, they're great filler. I can always put them on the other project if I have them extra. Like, who just doesn't need a purple cone flower in their life? So we're just going with it. Maybe we'll come back for a cut leaf cone flower once we put everything in. Who knows? We're just doing it. We're doing it. All right, let's load this up, pay for it, and get out of here. I can't believe I got it all to fit on one cart. Yay. Okay, we're back. We're gonna go ahead and start positioning the plants to make sure that we've got our spacing right, and then we get to dig a lot of holes. So let's get started on that. Let me walk you guys through what I just did here. First thought about like what is the biggest plant, which is this. This is gonna get huge compared to everything else in here. So we wanna make sure we put it one in the back, because if we put it over here, because this is the south. So as we're in the year, in the winter time, the sun's coming from this direction, like it's coming like boop, boop. You can see the sun's rising right now. So it's coming like, all this is gonna get light first. So if you put the biggest plant here, no light. Right? No bueno. So we're gonna put it in the back, but we also need to leave, like, if you look from above, let me show you from above. See, there's way more space around it because it will just start to shade out and crowd out anything in this direction. But I put near it a plant that kind of sprawls, which is the sky flower, so that it can kind of help fill in some of the space. I took the white tops, I put them in this corner. I thought it would just help create some contrast when we look at this in the future, you know, because you can just see that, you can just even from a distance see like the little white sticking up, and that's cool. We like that. Though now that I'm seeing it with the block, I don't know if that's as much contrast as I was thinking, but we'll try it. And then I put the sweet scents over on this side. We'll have some purplish here, we'll have the white over here. And then the other areas that I was like definite on is I knew I wanted the brown savory because it's very low ground cover up in the front. And if it's anything's gonna like drift and kind of come over this is like a really cute one. In like hanging containers, it's just really pretty. So if it's drifting down a little bit over this during the year, nice. Also, it's got a mint flavor. Who doesn't love that? And then in that, so I figured like this corner, you can see boom, 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 brown savory. And then in here, we put the little aquatic milkweeds. They don't get very big. They're gonna stay very small. So we wanna put them up front. So that as people walk by, as the butterflies fly by, they're not overtaken by all the other stuff because they'll just be taken over. Also, this would be the shadiest corner of this whole section. And it's closest to the sprinkler, which is like hiding in here. So the water, it's happening. The next thing I knew was the next corner is this is like our purple corner. So we got Stokes aster, which will stay relatively small. And then I put the purple coneflowers in between because then we can have like a little cluster because the native one seems to not bush as much. At least mine haven't. And I had the purple coneflower that I moved into project 2 when we were building all this mess. You know, it was like in this area. So I know purple coneflower that's native to here grows here. So put a little clump right there. So we'll have like purple Stokes asters and purple coneflowers. So it's like very purple. The next thing is I tried to distribute the swamp milkweed around because those caterpillars will eat everything. Also, they like to travel. So I got a pair here, a pair here, a pair here. They're gonna be very like sticks. They're not gonna look like much most of the year. So having them near and in between other stuff, yay. I just shoved these 2 in because I don't know where else I'm putting them, honestly. And then, but I wanted to also put the clumpings because when they do bloom and we get the little pink plumes, you know, but I didn't want to put them near the edges of anything because they get tall and they'll start to flop over. So we don't want them like leaning out into the street, leaning out into my grassy area or anything like that. And then what was the last thing? So then I put the sky flower in the middle to help spread, sky flower to help fill in over here, and a sky flower to help fill in over there. And then I put a ton of my aquaticum in here so that they can kind of stay closer to each other. And then if I need to do some like different type of mulching to keep them a little bit wetter, I can focus on this area in particular. But I also wanted them to be a little bit further this way. When they were originally in the yard, they were like here, which is why I dug them all out, which is closer to the sprinkler, but that's okay because there's another sprinkler head here. So they're kind of evenly distanced between the 2 sprinkler heads, 1. 2, they'll get more sunlight and they bloom better with more sunlight. So this is the design. This is a lot of plants, which means I need to dig an insane amount of holes. But here's what I use to dig a lot of holes pretty quickly because I've done a lot of digging in the past. Here are my favorites, are these 2 right here. One is this. If you have any roots, stuff, junk in the way, this will cut through everything. It's not good at holding the hole, but if you need to break through stuff, hard soil, root bound soil, just all the junk, rocks, whatever, this is a mattock. I love these. And then this, it's like my new favorite after we built the trellises. If you need to dig a 1 gallon hole really quickly, the post hole digger, just amazing. And since this soil is very loose now because we've been digging and moving and everything already, I'm gonna be leaning towards this in general for just digging all the holes pretty quickly. So let's get digging. Okay, we're done. We've only dug 40 holes, but it's gonna be really well worth it. Now we just need to let these plants settle in, the monsoon rains, the summer to come, and this is gonna start looking amazing. I'm so excited. And if you're looking to see this entire project from the total chaos and the beginning plants to each project, go ahead and check out this playlist right here. Or if you're looking to get into Florida native plants, click this video right here. And if you want to get the planner that helps me get ideas and plan out this garden, click this link right here. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.